One, two, one, two, one. Turn me up. Turn me up.
The champ is here.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Good morning, everyone. It's Monday. How y'all doing? Getting going. Getting going with the week. Figured I'd jump on here this AM while I'm having breakfast and just chit chat with y'all a little bit. I had insomnia last night. I woke up. I went to sleep. I don't even know how I fell asleep. I was gonna go live, and I was waiting for my other phone to charge, and I nodded off. Next thing I know, it's 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever the hell it was. When I got up, I couldn't go back to sleep, so I started talking to y'all a little bit. I've been up ever since, which is kind of good because when I go to dialysis, I like to go to sleep. I'll be sleepy, trying to go back to sleep in a little bit. That's good right there. Some of the good stuff. But welcome to the People's Podcast. I am your host, V. Ben Israel, the People's Champ. Please, on your way in the door, hit the like button, subscribe button, share it to your socials, all of that good stuff. Appreciate y'all. Trying to get some content out there. Real world shit, real life here. I got some grits and eggs. Little grits and eggs. Boiled eggs. I didn't feel like scrambling them. So boiling is a lot easier. I had a little straightening up to do this morning before I get out of here. And I'll do some more when I come back later this afternoon. Hopefully I'm not sleepy when I get back so I can get busy. I take out some trash and all that stuff. My kids across the parking lot here might come help me. And that's why I buy them candy and snacks and shit. Being a good neighbor. Being the male in the community, looking out for kids. And I am friends with their mom, so the mom trusts me around her kids. And I says I'm an extra set of eyes, in the community, that's a good thing. Because the girl is she's 13, about to be 14. And y'all know what that means at that age. They starting to develop and gotta watch out. There's a lot of predators out here. When I was growing up, we had men in the community who helped police the community and monitor the kids and things of that nature. We really don't have that as much today's world. So I try to fill that role. I try to pay it forward. But I'm sorry, y'all. I got some orange juice here. I got some hot tea. Eating my breakfast, and looks like it's going to be a nice day out. Computer, what is the forecast for today?
Well, it's a sunny start at 71 degrees. Today's high will be 86 with variably cloudy skies, and it'll cool down to 63 tonight.
86 and cloudy. So we're coming out of the heat wave. We've been in a little bit of a heat wave the last week. So it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be warm, 80 something. But like this weekend, we got up in the mid 90s, and then with the humidity index, the heat index, rather, it was like 104 or something with the index. I was like, Jesus. And it's only June. The hell is July gonna be like? It's gonna be hot in July. Hopefully I can get to the beach. That's the plan anyway. Well, ain't really an established plan yet, but the makings of a plan are there. And then, of course, if I get there to the beach, we'll be live from the ocean. There's been a deal announced by all parties that the war is over. Iran finally bent the knee. So that's going on. Turn this damn thing on. I forgot to do that. Oh, it ain't charged. I'm sorry, y'all. There we go. Come on now, there we go. So, yeah, so that happened. The UFC fight happened on the Knicks won the championship. Trump is having a great week, man. He had a great little weekend here. He had his birthday, the Knicks won, and he ended another war. You know, all of the haters, they're going to have some hate. Hakeem Jeffries. Hakeem, nobody dream. Jeffries is going to have something to say. Shout out to Professor Nez. Shout out to Professor Nez. Make sure y'all subscribe over there. Let him know the champ sent you. I guess that kind of goes into what I was been talking about overnight on the Insomniac Theater that I did. Some people just go.
On your calendar, take morning pill pack medications. Starts in 30 minutes.
I did. They're gonna hate no matter what. They're that defiant spirit. Even though we all can agree America not being at war is a good thing. That's what the Democrats have been arguing for, to end the war. He shouldn't have never went to war, but he just did something historic. He just did something historic, and they're going to find a way to find a problem. Watch. It'll be all day. They can't just say, like, get a man his props. Like, it worked out. Regardless of how we got here, we all agree we should be here. Well, we've done it their way in the past, and it didn't work. Their way has never worked. And everywhere they're in power, all of these blue cities, they've gone bankrupt. They ran horrible, severe homelessness. high crime. Give me the Democrat-run city, major city. That's the example that the rest of the country should be following. And then people, when I hit them with that, I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to keep going back and forth with you. Even though, remember, my stepfather did this. I ain't heard from him since. Been about 3 weeks. 3 weeks ago or so, he starts a conversation about politics. They basically, and this is that Fred Sanford shit, right? That shaky ass men. them elemental P people. I ain't saying that's my stepfather that he's an elemental P, but he simps to them. Simping is a man who generally puts a woman on a pedestal for no reason and gets nothing in return. There's no benefit to him, or very little benefit. So he leans that way. And I'm sorry, hold on. He leans that way, and he's an 80-some-year-old man, and I don't understand why any of these progressive, so-called progressive policies that the Democrats have been pushing would be of interest to him, right? He has no connection, no dog in the fight. Why are you voting for them? Makes no sense. He's been married to my mother for 46 years. He's a great grandfather, right? He's a great grandfather. Black man, working class, all his life. But Trump bad. He fell for that. Tried to explain to him, you got 2 grandsons out here. What about them? What are the Democrats offering him? He don't want to talk. Well, you believe what you want to believe. I'm asking you a question. And every answer when they run out of the Trump bad talk, and you ask them a straight up serious question, they have no answer for it. Some of y'all just getting up. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning to Jack. Welcome to the People's Podcast. No matter where you may be watching from, on YouTube, on Facebook, on X, formerly Twitter. So, yeah, I don't get it. I do not get it. But they'll start the conversation with you like he did. I try to avoid those conversations with certain people. Him and my mother particularly. And they sit and watch MSNBC or MS Live, whatever the hell it's called, all day long, every day. That's what they do. Mm. And it's just getting ridiculous where you're not even able to have a conversation with these people because they go to anger so quick. Just you asking questions, common sense questions, things I know they agree with all my life. And when you compare the two parties, is this thing moving? My gimbal ain't working. Let's see. There you go. I like to move. I want to make sure it's following me, it's tracking me. The things that I know for a fact they believe it. And the Democrats are against those things. They still support the Democrats. And when I force them to come face to face with the reality, then the anger starts to bubble up. And this is with all Democrats, people who vote Democrat. They can't even tell you why. The Democrat policies are the opposite of their personal lives. And they still vote. That's what they always did. Well, I reminded them, like, hey, when I was a kid, yeah, that would have been unacceptable. You would have never accepted that shit from me when I was a kid. I would have never been able to be like, well, that's what I always done, even though it's not working. That's what I've always done. So I'm gonna keep banging my head against this wall. That's what I'm gonna keep doing. Right. I see y'all popping in and out. I appreciate y'all. Welcome to the People's Podcast. Good morning. I'm your host, V. Ben Israel. But that's just the ridiculous of what's going on in American culture, in American society, in today's world. And I've been telling y'all for a long time, these baby boomers, they're ridiculous. They fucked up the world. And that's what you can trace a lot of what's wrong in this world directly to baby boomers. Especially, I mean, not especially, but particularly black men baby boomers. Oh, man, shit. But I love my daddy. And y'all think these fucking ninjas are supermen and they ain't never did shit. They was below average men who haven't accomplished nothing and couldn't measure up to their daddies. And that's why a lot of their daddies didn't trust them and they put their daughters in charge instead of the sons as a generation. Cross races. Damn, doggone baby boomers are the worst. Excuse me, be right back. Yeah, they are the worst. And I mean, they're irrational, black irrational men. We talking about 70, 80-year-old men. They just irrational as hell. You know. And then no surprise that the daughters are screwed up. And luckily, he didn't raise his two oldest daughters, my stepsisters. And both of them ended up getting married. They're still married. Kids, the whole nine. Husbands, kids, doing well. But the two youngest daughters, my half sisters, my mama daughters, they screwed up. No husbands in their 30s. at the wall, you know. As Kevin Samuels would describe it, you know. Shout out to the Godfather, R.I.P. But I mean, and that's why I can't talk to them. They're just ridiculous. They thinking it's all screwy. And then when I talk to my stepfather, I understand why. I never considered it, but I do now. Now I've been thinking about it for a couple of days now. I always think about legacy and, you know, things of that nature. And this podcast will be part of or is part of my legacy. And at some point in the future, when I'm gone, my grandchild, my future great-grandchildren, who I'm speaking to into the future now, I'm thinking about you. And you'll be able to hear it directly from me. Hi, how you doing? Somebody in the future right now is looking at this and like, wow, that's amazing that my forefather even considered me. Yes, and I apologize. I got sick. The plan was to leave you more. And I wish I could have. And hopefully my sons will be able to pick up some of that and build onto their legacies where you're able to benefit from. I wish I could have done more. And I also wish I would have had some communication from my dad. My dad never talked about any kind of thing. I didn't know. I knew him, but I didn't know. That makes sense? And he was close to my kids. But knowing his thoughts on things like on a daily basis, I have no clue. He worried about himself. Whereas I'm a real father. I worry about my children, grandchildren, the future. So I'm speaking to you from the past. As I speak to people on the internet, on YouTube, in today's world, as I communicate with them, I'm simultaneously communicating with you guys in the future who are looking at me right now. And the now that I speak of is your time, not my time. My time is 2026. But I think about our forefather, Roland McKay. That's my grandmother's father. And I think about the legacy that he left, the land that he left to us down in Ruby, South Carolina, which in my time, it's very rural down there. In your time, it may not be. Either way, he had the foresight to procure that land from his father-in-law, from my understanding. That would be the Sal family, for the future. He was thinking about the future. And I just wish I had some access to his exact words. Watch him on a video. Back then, the technology didn't exist. And he wouldn't have had access to it even if it did back then. We talking about the turn of the century, early 1900s. When he bought the land or procured the land. So the technology wasn't there, but I wish it was. But I wish more men would do what I'm doing. The technology is here. And by doing what I'm doing, I mean utilize the tools that you have access to. There are tools out here and men out here who don't know how to use them. they stuck in some make-believe past that they never lived in, you know. Internet has been around most of my life. Going back to the 90s, that's when I first started interacting on the internet. The first social media was GeoCities, all of that, Yahoo, and all of that kind of stuff. It was there. And there was guys back then who, oh, I don't use that internet. I don't use that email. You know, you serious? It's the future. Now, in today's world, in 2026, it's part of your life like electricity. It is a utility bill. I pay my internet bill every month, just like I pay my light bill. Just like I pay any other bill. It's a utility bill. Whereas 30 years ago, it was just in something extra that very few people had internet in their house. I remember that time. I was downloading movies 30 years ago. Well, definitely 26 years anyway. I was downloading movies and music back then. People thought it was like I was some techie, geeky guy. Now that's the normal in today's world. Can't remember the last time I've been to a movie theater. Some people still go, but I just watch the movie on my TV. Pointing at my TV is that way. The camera is reversed right now, so it looks funny to me. It's that way, which would be my left. That's what my TV is. And I have a smart TV. I have a Fire TV. I have an Amazon Fire TV. I don't have a cable subscription because I watch everything on the internet. Both my TVs, I got a TV in my living room and a TV in the bedroom. Same thing. Same kind of TVs. One is just a little smaller. But yeah, I ramble like this. Your forefather, V. Ben Israel, also known as Van Johnson. Van Johnson would be considered my legal name, my government name, or my Greek name. Hopefully one day I can legally change my name so I will no longer be considered Greek. And our heritage is Israel, the tribe of Judah, the lost children, lost tribes of Israel. That's who we are. And my V. Ben Israel will be considered my Hebrew name. The 12 tribes of Israel. We're Judah. So this is information I wish I had. I wish I knew what my forefathers, my immediate forefathers thought. Now, my father's mother and father raised me, so I know what they think. I saw them every day. I was there every day of my life. Phone just chimed. I think y'all. I don't know what it was. I don't know what that was. It's currently 7:50 a.m. and the date is June 15th. I thought so. I wasn't sure. June 15th. I'm up. Just had my breakfast. I'll be going to dialysis soon. When I get to dialysis, I'm going to take a nap, sleep for 4 hours, and wake up refreshed. That's how it's going to be for me. You young men, speaking to the ones in the future and current, go to the doctor early. Make that part of your normal routine. You have a job, you have insurance. So, the insurance, you get a free annual checkup. Use it. using. I want to change my seat. Hold on. And I'm trying to see. I'm legally blind. Trying to see. And they changed things up on me too. Ah, there we go. I wanted to see where the camera was at. So I turned off the camera for a moment so I could move and sit more comfortably. Computer, what is the inside temperature? Computer, what is the inside temperature?
The inside temperature is 75 degrees.
75 degrees. See, I always wondered. My great grandfather Roland, what was it like? You know, where he was at? The temperature, any basic general information, I get curious about that kind of stuff. Always have. Always have. Just little things. What was everyday life like for him? And Juanita, that was his wife, my great grandmother. I put my DNA out there. My DNA is on ancestry.com. That's out there. I have books I've purchased, and I always think, even though I can't read them anymore, I've always been in the habit of buying books. I have to read them digitally now, but I still prefer the feel of an actual book. And I believe you should always have books in your house. It's the way I grew up. So that way you kids have things to do. Read a book. I would tell my kids. Loved reading Harry Potter as a young man. Imagine with the Twilight stuff, and Brooklyn reads everything. I don't know what the hell Sundiata reads. But I think you should read. The average American today only reads less than one book a year. Well, to be intelligent, scholarly, you have to have books. When you go to class, for example, don't they give you a book? Every class you've ever been to, you were given a book. You have to have books. And somebody has to guide you through the book. They don't just hand you a book and go, here you go. See you at the end of the year and pass the tests. No, you got a teacher teaching you through the book, right? Somebody has to teach you. Now, you're not going to always like your teachers. I had teachers I couldn't stand. But some of them turned out to be the best teachers. You don't have to always like somebody to learn from them. And here as Black people, we have to come to an understanding of that. We in today's world, everybody's caught up in their feelings, in their emotions. I come from an older version of the Matrix where it wasn't that way. The old people didn't care how you felt. Here's what you need to do. It was about duty. Duty is the things that you're responsible for doing. And as a child, you were provided for. You had a roof over your head, electricity, food. That was their responsibility as the parents. As as the children underneath them, your responsibility was to do well in school. Well, you got to read. Today's world, kids struggle to read beyond the fourth grade level. At the same age they were, middle school age, sixth grade, whatever, I was already reading at a college level. So it's astounding to me that today these kids they can't read. Well, one of the reasons they can't read is because they don't have any books. They got phones, they got tablets, PlayStation, but they ain't reading no books. All of this technology doesn't replace a book. Hell, a book is technology. Because there was a time when there were no books. You had scrolls and everybody didn't even have access to them. But neither here nor there. I hope everybody's doing well. June 15th, 2026. Welcome to the People's Podcast. I am your host, V. Ben Israel, the People's Champ. You got millions of people out here on YouTube or on the internet making podcasts, but you see very few doing what I've been doing for over 15 years. I give you authentic stuff. How many podcasters fire up their podcast and go live while they eat breakfast and just talk honestly and openly to you? I can't think of any beyond me. That's what makes me the champ. The champ is here. And here is wherever you are. And whenever you are. You just tuning in, that's gonna boggle your mind. What does he mean by whenever you are? Rewind after this is over. Rewind. Or watch my content. Like, subscribe, and share, and you'll understand. You'll get it. But it's not a commercial. It's not a commercial. My story is not going to be told in 90 seconds or less, like a commercial would be. My life story is an epic. Sometimes it's tragedy. Sometimes it's an adventure. You get a little bit of both. Little bit of both. Oh man, I am tired, y'all. I hear somebody alarm going on. It ain't here. Maybe it's one of my neighbors. These walls aren't that thin, but I hear it. Yeah, it's an alarm. I don't have it. I have both my phones right by me. Those are my alarms. Hmm. My neighbor went to work. I wonder if he forgot to turn off his alarm. When he went to work, Brian was out of here around 5, 6 a.m. Yeah, he's gone. So I don't know what that alarm would be. And I've never really paid attention to it. So, strange. The microphone here that I'm using may not be picking it up, but strangely enough, I'm hearing it. And I know it's alarm because it's consistent. That sound is reoccurring. It's not, and it's not natural. It's not a natural sound. It's a digital sound. Hopefully it'll turn itself off because that's annoying. Computer, do you hear an alarm ringing?
Nope, I don't hear any alarms going off right now. What can I help you with right now?
Yeah, I hear a faint alarm. Maybe it's coming through the walls from a neighbor.
Ah, that makes sense. Neighbor alarms can definitely carry through walls sometimes. Hopefully it stops soon.
Yeah, we're in the world with AI now. Uh, 2025 really gave a lot of people access freely to AI, and I utilize my tools. Now, I'm sure in the future it's going to be way more advanced, but it's basic AI now. That was Alexa, Amazon Alexa, I was using. But I also use Gemini. But I love it. I love technology. I'm legally blind, so I have to get close. But I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all hit the like, subscribe, and share button. Welcome to the Peach Podcast. We just chit chatting this morning. I'm gonna be getting out of here soon. I gotta get dressed and head to dialysis. But we were just recapping the weekend. War is over. Gas prices are already coming down. The national average is down 70 cents right now. And it'll come down even more. Now that the Strait of Hormuz is open, up there in the Persian Gulf, the blockade is open as well. So it's free for international waters with no restrictions. Promise made, promise kept. Iran will never get a nuclear weapon, not in my lifetime anyway, if this deal maintains, if the deal holds up. So we'll see. All parties involved have come out over the weekend and publicly acknowledged that the war is over. They signed the treaty. So we'll see. We will see. The Knicks have won their first NBA championship in 53 years. So congratulations to Brunson, OG, Carl Anthony Towns. Congratulations to them young men. They did a phenomenal job. Congratulations to Wemby, even though he lost, of the San Antonio Spurs. He also performed very well. So shout outs to them. I'm sure there'll be more to come. The Knicks of my lifetime have been getting their butts kicked all my life. I'll be 50 years old this year. So 50 years they've been getting their ass whooped, okay? And my team, when I was a young man, was the Chicago Bulls, of course. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Steve Kerr, John Paxson, the rest of them. Horace Grant and them, my boys who won 6 championships in a row. Well, 6 championships. They went to 6 finals except for one year when they lost to Shaq and Penny. But other than that, they three-peated twice. And those are my boys back in the day. We got our asses kicked in the late 80s. Detroit, Boston, Lakers was kicking our butt. But when them 90s rolled in, baby, the 90s rolled in, it was all joy. And let me say something to you men my age, Gen X men. I want y'all to listen closely. Y'all Gen X men. The 90s ain't never coming back. I wish y'all would grow up and act your age and stop wishing. All y'all do is tell them old stories. Y'all wasn't shit in the 90s. Y'all was regular ass dudes in the 90s, and you regular ass dude, you below average, most of you. Below average. I know that's a contradiction, but below average ass men. Dusties, as they call you today. You always was a dusty. Y'all, back in my day and all them war stories and shit, sound like Al Bundy. And, man, get out of here. It's time to grow up and come to the future. Some of y'all still dress like you a little kid. You a grandfather, great grandfather, dressing like you in the 90s. Y'all want some cross colors? Y'all want some Carl Kanai? You still wearing your Butters, your Tims? Come on now. The 90s ain't here no more. It ain't never coming back. Stop talking about the way it used to be. That world is over, gone. It ain't never coming back. Not in your lifetime. You'll never see it again. Living in the past as ninja. It's time to come in here to the future and operate the way the world is today. Use your AI, use your internet, use tools that you have access to. It's why we can't progress as a people. Our men are living in the past. You want women to behave the way you think they wasn't behaving like that in the 90s. The women today ain't your grandma. They not your mama. Hell, your mama wasn't doing some of the things. I hear the stories and y'all like cherry pick from women in the past and try to mash it together and make it seem like, oh, this is what women are supposed to do. Those women wasn't doing that back then. You don't know your grandmama the way you think. Your grandmama didn't have no drawers on. I had a couple of dudes want to fight me. Me saying that on some panels. You don't know my mom. You don't know my mama. You don't know my grandmama. I'm going to pull up on you. I'm like, really, dude? So I gave him my address, my real address. I ain't nobody pulled up on me yet. Ask Amina. Ain't nobody pulled up at the house. Ever. I've heard men all my life make threats. Ain't nobody laid a finger on me. And I'm from the hood. North New Jersey, East Orange, New Jersey, South Side of Chicago. I done been a lot of places. Ain't nobody put a finger. But your grandmama ain't had no drawers on underneath that 90 little house dress, moo or whatever you call it. Wasn't no drawers under that. Your granddaddy got out of control. He needed to get a release. Grandma, they had to have a little private talk real quick with the door closed. What you think was happening? Grandma bent her ass over. Grandpa got about 3 to 5 strokes, got the release. He went on outside and did whatever the hell he was supposed to do outside. Whistling, he out there whistling. You know, out there in the backyard working on the shit or just doing some whatever, bull crap. But he had to get that release. Grandma back in the kitchen. She done sent his ass outside. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I ain't just tell the truth. Tell me that story ain't the truth. Tell me that story ain't true. Anybody, somebody done ran out of here. I had a couple of people watching and they done ran out of here. And I heard they feeling this morning. Good morning. little after 8 o'clock. Good morning. Your mama ain't had no drawers on either. Your mama was a hoe. Shout out to Through the Fire Podcast, TJ. Shout out. RBN. Your mama is a hoe. Where you think all them stepdaddies came from? Because your mama was a traditional woman? Stop. Some of y'all don't even know your mama. You think Pam is your mama. Pam wasn't your mama. Pam was your sister or your mama's sister, your auntie. But they had to raise you because your mama was a hoe at an early age. And she trying to hide you. That was going on when I was a kid. So let's cut the bullshit, shall we? Let's cut the bullshit. But y'all live in the past, this make-believe past. Same thing with women, and they want to be stay-at-home moms, and very, especially in the Black community, but this is true for white as well. Very few women in the past were stay-at-home moms. The majority of women had to work, especially if they had kids. You had to go to work. And it takes two incomes. People go, in today's world, it takes two incomes. It always is taking two incomes. My grandparents both worked. Wasn't nobody no stay-at-home mom. My mama had 3 sisters, and only one of them got to be a stay-at-home mom because she married a PhD engineer. He had the money, but she still worked. She worked at home. She wasn't just sitting home chilling. Because that's what y'all think when y'all say stay-at-home mom. You think you're going to be able to stay at home and just chill. No, she had things she had to do. That was a job, staying at home. Hell, it's that way today. It got easier, but y'all think it's just I'm going to stay home and eat bonbons and nothing and watch TV, stay in the bed all day. Things got easier. You got dishwashing, just push a button. You got a washing machine, a modern washing machine where you push a button. I remember we didn't even have a dryer in the house. We had to hang our clothes on the clothesline and then iron them. Today, you just throw it in the machine and hit the button and you're done. When that's done, take it out, put that in the dryer, another machine, push the button. How hard is that? The most you got to do is fold your clothes. And in the future, you may not even be doing that. You may not have to fold your clothes. You're going to have artificial intelligence helping you and robots. Be a robot in your house folding your clothes. So let's cut the crap. Women didn't necessarily or traditionally in corporate America or in the factory. Women didn't do that kind of work, but they were seamstresses at home. And they were daycare. No, you didn't go to a professional daycare. You went to Miss Mary in the neighborhood and she watched all the kids. Right? That was Miss Mary's job. She was the daycare provider. Somebody was doing some cooking, selling plates, doing lunchtime for the men at the factory. Women had jobs, even though they didn't go to a job, they worked at home. That's the point. It's y'all living in the past, this make-believe past that you constructed, from your childhood, and you're trying to make women behave like these made-up women from your memory that you've constructed. And that's not fair to women. You can't meet a woman and expect her to behave like this fantasy woman, this fantasy grandma or mama or mima, whatever you have in your mind. It's not realistic and it's unfair. And then you don't even communicate men that image of women that you have until you after you get with the woman. You get with her and then now she's supposed to live up to this make-believe image that you constructed. Stop. Stop it. It's ridiculous. And then you wonder why you have problems with women, dealing with women. Because you're fucking ridiculous, some of you men. I listen to y'all on the podcast, and I've told y'all, man, look, like you must not have any experience with women. Because the advice that some of these quote unquote manosphere dudes have bought into, y'all destroyed the manosphere. You really have. The manosphere today is not what it was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It's not the same. And y'all mix things up. And that's why y'all say, oh, I'm red pill, I'm red pill. No, you're not. You're blue pill because you want to believe what you want to believe. That's the blue pill. Red pill means you want to find out what the truth is. And you may not find out, but your intention is to get to the truth, to have understanding of whatever it is of the world. Right? What did Morpheus say? You may not be ready for what I'm trying to show you, but it will be the truth. And that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm the People's Champ. Welcome to the People's Podcast. I am your host, V. Ben Israel. I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't care about your feelings. Computer, what is the Oxford Dictionary definition of feelings?
According to the Oxford Dictionary, feeling has multiple definitions, including physical sensations, emotions, and conscious awareness. The most relevant one for our discussion might be a consciousness or vague awareness, like a feeling of inferiority. Are you interested in the emotional aspect of feelings, or more the physical sensation side?
What is the precise definition that we discussed previously?
The precise definition we discussed was a consciousness or vague awareness, like having a feeling of inferiority.
Is that what I said?
No, that wasn't exactly what you said. You prefer using think over feel because you believe they're not interchangeable.
And what was the definition that I said?
You didn't provide a specific definition earlier. Would you like to share your perspective on feelings now?
Yes, I did. So the definition we discussed earlier was feeling.
I don't have a record of you providing a specific definition of feelings earlier. Would you like to share your definition now?
Feeling is a belief, especially a vague and irrational. And that comes from the Oxford Dictionary, correct?
Yes, that's correct. The Oxford Dictionary does define feeling as an idea or belief, especially a vague or irrational one.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Feeling is a belief, especially a vague or irrational. So that's why I don't go by feelings here on the People's Podcast. People go, I feel. What you're communicating when you say that is I have a feeling or no, I have a belief, but it's vague and irrational. I don't go by feelings. We talk facts here. We talk facts. Facts over feelings. Some of you can't handle that. Grown ass men and they feelings. Vague and irrational. We're supposed to be strategic thinkers of the group. That's what we're supposed to be. Strategy, facts, data, science. That's what men's minds lean to more than the artsy fartsy feeling stuff. And in today's world, y'all like to make up definitions for words. It ain't y'all, y'all use words and you use them incorrectly. We're going to talk about that later when I come back this afternoon. We'll talk more about that because words matter. For example, women with I have standards. No, you don't. You have preferences. Standards and preferences are not interchangeable. Computer, are standards and preferences synonymous?
No, standards and preferences aren't synonymous. Standards are non-negotiable needs, while preferences are flexible wants.
Flexible wants.
Flexible preferences are adaptable choices that can change based on circumstances. Are you thinking about how this relates to your earlier question about standards?
No, thank you.
All right, sounds good.
I hope I'm helping somebody out there. That's what I hope. Because if you communicate better, you'll have better experiences as you navigate the world, young men. Also, you'll make more money. Your your salary, your annual salary is directly connected to how you articulate, how your verbiage. I don't care what industry you work in, that will be true. You want to make more money, improve how you communicate. Read some books, comic books. Hell, read anything. Particularly, comic books are great. Read some comic books. That'll help increase your vocabulary and how you communicate and speak. Will lead you to a better experience as you navigate your environment, and it'll lead you to more money. A mechanic that communicates well, like my mechanic, John. John is an excellent speaker. For a mechanic, he's excellent. And he's made great money. And I'm sure he interviews well as well. I've never interviewed, of course. I don't hire mechanics, but me knowing him and knowing the type of jobs he's been able to do, his mechanic jobs and his non-mechanic jobs, he does those well. He's in order, he doesn't have a problem getting the jobs that he wants. And that could be the difference between getting the job and not having a job, the way you interview. I think my daughter Imagine interviews well because she speaks well. She grew up in a house with a father who speaks well. She's adopted that. And as she goes through life, she doesn't have problems getting jobs. She just got a brand new job in a brand new city. Never before has she lived in Raleigh, where she lives now, and immediately got a job as a store manager. I forget the name of the company. It's in the mall. She loves the job, loves the mall, loves the city, but her ability to communicate allowed her to make that transition. Your vocab words matter. And using words correctly matter because people will look at you when you use a word incorrectly, like, the hell are you talking about? But we'll talk more about that later. I'm gonna go ahead and get up off of here. Getting sleepy and I need to get dressed before I get too sleepy and fall out. Y'all stay tuned on your way out the door. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, smash the bell, share it to your socials, hit the Cash App to support the Pure Leaf Tea Fund, $ send 2V. Thank you for choosing the People's Podcast. I am your host, V. Ben Israel, but you can call me V. It's your boy.